Hey Shalloners, welcome back. Well, today I wanted to do a follow-up video to one I did a few days ago, which is how to pick the right college or university for you and the 2 factors you need to consider when applying. But today, as application and rejection letters start arriving, we got to talk about how to deal with not getting into the school you wanted, because it's real. It's happening. But first, I just want to remind you guys and let you know that if you want to talk to me privately, if you have a question about college, school, boys, friends, parents, Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin's relationship, which I could talk about forever, find me on the Instant Go app at Shallon XO. Click chat to get connected right away. And definitely follow me on social media at Shallon XO on Insta, Twitter, and Snapchat. And be sure to click like and subscribe for new videos every Friday and usually one every single day in between. All right, so the envelope comes. Do they still send envelopes? Just go with it. The envelope comes, you open it, and it says, "Thank you for your application, but we are not able to offer you admission at this time, blah, blah, blah." I went to Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. It's an excellent school. It's one of the top schools in California, 10% admission rate. It's no joke. But that's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to UC Santa Barbara. I know. UC Santa Barbara over Cal Poly, it's like wanting to go to Rutgers over Princeton. Santa Barbara's fine, but it's not this academic school. But I wasn't even thinking of that. I really liked the vibe there. I liked the culture. It was fun. It was beachy. It spoke to me and I really wanted to go. And I didn't get in. I had a 1460 on my SATs. I'm not a dummy. I was ASB president, student council president. I volunteered. I did school plays. I played hockey. I feel on paper I was good, but who knows how the admission gods work. My mom did not write a $500,000 check to UC Santa Barbara. And my mom, to this day, and I have been through some stuff in my life since then, she's like, "I don't think I've ever seen you so upset when you got that letter. You were hysterical. You were hysterical." It was the first huge disappointment. She's like, "No, it wasn't, because I'd lost student council elections before and gotten my heart broken." She's like, "But this was it changed the course of your life and there was nothing I could do to fix it." And I was inconsolable for a while because it also made so little sense to me. I get into Cal Poly, but I don't get into UCSB. Okay, whatever. And that kind of haunted me through a lot of my time at Cal Poly. I was constantly comparing. It's oh, stupid rock climbing club at Cal Poly, but they don't have that at Santa Barbara. It's something cooler. And people I know who were not as smart as me got in. And so it was constantly in my mind. But here's what I've learned. First of all, if you don't get in, mourn, grieve, mourn, cry, let it wash over you, lean into it. The worst thing you can do, and I think the worst thing the other people can do or say is you don't want to go there anyway. It's stupid. There's nothing worse than feeling sad about something and then having people tell you that you're stupid for even being sad about it. It's all right, cool. So I don't have it, and I'm not even allowed to be sad that I don't have it because it's dumb and I shouldn't want it in the first place. And people say that it comes from a good place, but it's difficult. So give yourself time and space to feel this. But a certain amount of mourning. Say I'm going to wallow for 3 days. Froyo, reruns, Netflix, just texting people. I should just really do it. And then I'm going to pull my shit together. Because here's what I've learned. God bless the broken road. Are you guys country music fans? If you are, you know Rascal Flatts. And you know their song, "God Bless the Broken Road," that led me straight to you. All the long lost dreams, every bad thing, the song goes, every bad breakup led them to the person they were really supposed to be with. Because if those things had worked out, they would have missed out on their true love. You know what I mean? So I don't know what you guys believe in. God, fate, the universe, divine plan, Yahweh, Buddha, whoever. I believe that there is some sort of plan for us, but it's up to us to see it. Every place has roads and paths. Every park has a path, but it's up to you to find that path and walk it. It's there, but you can wander around in the woods like an animal and get all cut and scratched and lost. Or you can take a moment, look for that path, accept it, that maybe it's going to take you a little bit longer. Maybe it's not going to be as scenic as you thought, but it's still a path and you got to get on it. What am I saying? This is all getting very esoteric. It means that everything happens for a reason. I really, really believe this. Because I just kind of think like at the end of the day, that's all we can believe. There's no such thing as what might have been. Another line from country music, Tim McGraw's Red Ragtop. But that line has like brought me a lot of comfort over the years. Like, because for so long I was living in this sort of like shadow universe of like, what if I went to UCSB instead of Cal Poly? It's like that universe doesn't exist. And I wasted a lot of time living in that sort of shadow realm and not being present where I was. And when I finally snapped out of it, I confronted the reality that like, I kind of didn't like Cal Poly, you know? I probably didn't like it because I was always comparing it. And a comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the root of all unhappiness. You are never going to make a lot of comparisons and come out feeling better. Almost never, right? And if you do, you're kind of an asshole. Like, are you comparing yourself to like a homeless person begging on the street? And you're like, look at how together my life is. That's an asshole move. And you probably aren't an asshole if you're on this channel. So you need to stop comparing, because when I look back on Cal Poly, like college was okay. It was not the best years of my life. I go into this way more in my other video on how to choose a college. But basically what I say is like, college is only the best years of your life if you do the rest of your life wrong, you know? And once I realized that like Cal Poly was not going to give me like this deep like love that UCSB was going to, I was like, all right, I am walking in the light of the truth of that. Now I'm going to make the situation work for me. Had I gone to a school where it's like I was partying and sorority, the Greek life thing was much bigger and I was closer to LA and I could go home more often and that whole thing, I never would have gotten so bored that I joined ROTC, which profoundly changed my life. I wouldn't have had the guts to like write for the paper. I would have been drunk. I would have volunteered, done improv team, played more sports. I did belly dance for 4 years and I can dance, brother. And it made like, all of these things had so many ripples throughout the rest of my life. Had I not written for the school paper, I wouldn't be the editor of a magazine now. Like I am a professional writer. I wrote my first book when I was 24, my second at 28. I wouldn't have done that had I gone to Santa Barbara. And again, that was the broken road. That was the blessing of the broken road, because I was wandering around in the woods, just in denial, in that shadow realm. And then I'm like, you know what? There's a path here. There's a path in this woods. Stop being a jerk and go walk it. That broken road led me to where I am. So if you didn't get into Princeton, Rutgers, U of Miami, whatever, Miami, U of Ohio, I don't know, it's like one of the, whatever, understand that that simply wasn't your path. And whatever you think you were going to get from that, you can get someplace else. So let's break it down. What do you think you were going to get out of that? Okay, for a lot of you guys, it's legacy. Your dad went to Princeton, your granddad went to Princeton, everyone went to Princeton. You were going to go to Princeton. Okay, there is something to be said for continuity and for family tradition, for sure. But there's also a lot to be said for walking your own path, making your own experiences. Like, it's the whole thing about college that's great is you really get to unfurl these parts of your personality that you didn't get to while you were living at home with mom and dad and your siblings in your small town where everyone thought that they knew you and everyone thought they knew what you were capable of, and you had this reputation. Maybe it was right, maybe it was wrong, but you're an adult now, and you get to create your own reality. You get to create your own persona. And that's part of the reason I was unhappy at Cal Poly, is because I felt very stifled there. Like I wanted to be in a bigger city where I could be what I felt was my more authentic self. And the irony is, feeling stifled like that forced me to get creative, to unlock those parts of me. Jack White has a saying that there is freedom in restraint. It might also be like a weird S&M saying, but we're going to ignore that. But he like did this whole weird interview about it. And he's like, there's freedom in restraint because when you're boxed in, you have to get so creative to satisfy yourself. And he's like, and that's when I feel most alive. When I have everything that I want, I feel like, ugh, like I'm just floundering. It's like my mind is kind of on autopilot. But when I don't have what I want, it like activates and my problem solving, my creativity lights up. It's like, that's so true. And I look back on the situations in my life that have led to so much success, and they've all had that in common. There was freedom in that restraint. There was creativity in the denial of what I thought I wanted. And this is kind of our life's work as adults and humans. We can't necessarily engineer what happens to us all the time. We have to be able to look at that situation and say, what can I take from this? What can I take from something that outwardly looks like a tragedy? How can I spin this? How can I make this over, upcycle this, and turn this into something that benefits my life? Abraham Lincoln said one time, people are about as happy as they make up their mind to be. And I'm like, no, they're not. I'm as happy as, you know, like no one wants to think that's true when they're unhappy. But it's kind of true, you know, because there's an alternate way of looking at every single thing that happens to you. And you can live a really miserable, bitter life. Or you can like reframe it and go forward. One of the guys from my high school, he was one of the smartest kids. He didn't get into UCLA, which blew everyone's mind. He had to go to Boston instead, like had to go to Boston. And he was like, he is honestly bitter about it to this day. He's a lawyer in New York City, married, 2 beautiful kids. And I was like, T, like, do you understand? Had you gone to UCLA, you never would have met your wife. You never would have ended up living in Europe because like she was from there and like you guys had this really cool like Parisian adventure for a few years. You wouldn't be at the top law firm in New York City. Like, bless the broken road. We think when we don't get something we want that it's like, how, but it was going to be perfect. That boyfriend was going to be perfect. That job opportunity was going to be perfect. That college was going to be perfect. God, the universe, destiny, fate, whatever you want to call it, is protecting you from things you don't even know about. These things aren't setbacks, they're setups. Because you are now getting the chance to have that creativity, to reframe something that's happening. And yeah, like, had I gone to UC Santa Barbara, I would have loved it. My life though, probably would have gone in a whole different direction. Not only because 3/4 of the people at UC Santa Barbara have herpes. They don't at Cal Poly. So like, that could have really changed the course of my life in a lot of ways. And I'm pretty glad but that didn't. So like, again, there was a divine hand keeping me out of that storm. We can't always see it and we can't always know what those pitfalls are going to be. And we might never know. You know, we might never get that clarity that like, oh yeah, that job was actually terrible and that guy was actually a nightmare. But we just have to trust that there is something happening that is keeping us out of harm's way. Because like I said, at the end of the day, what other choice do we have? Bitterness, resentfulness, and most awfully, stagnation. My friend who's the lawyer who didn't get into UCLA stagnates still so much in that time of his life. Like, he's like 30 years old. It's like he can't let go of that injustice against him. It's like, but so many blessings came out of the alternative. And it's so sad he chooses not to see them because they are there. They're literally there. They live in his house. It's his wife and fucking children. Do you know what I mean? So analyze what you think college is going to like this one dream school is going to mean to you. Maybe like social cachet. Like, it's a big deal to be like, yo, I got into Princeton. Do you know why I choose Princeton as all my examples? Because like the fuckboy I was obsessed with for years went there. I have a lot of videos on fuckboys. A lot. So check them out. Anyway, what was I saying? Now I'm like sidetracked thinking about like this garbage person who ruined my life. No, he's not a garbage person. Yeah, so it's like there's a social aspect. It's like you want to get into the place you told everyone you wanted to go to. You know, no one's like, oh yeah, no, I'm going to my safety school. But at the end of the day, nobody cares where you go. Do you know what I mean? Like, it means nothing to anybody. So it's also about reframing. It's like, no, I'm not going to Princeton. I'm going to U of Texas. Like, that's going to be so much cooler. Who needs like those Northeast winters, right? It's the spin you put on it and people are going to be like, yeah, you know, it's a good way to look at it. And then you're going to become a leader in that category. People are going to look up to you. He's like, look at how good, like, look at how well Hannah dealt with that. Like, she just like put a positive spin on that. So like, yeah, I didn't want to go to Cal Poly. I wanted to go to UCSB. Bring on the banana slugs. No, that's Santa Cruz. Sorry. Santa Barbara have a mascot? The Valtrex. There's a little Valtrex bill. I'm sorry. It's not funny. It's not funny. And there's nothing wrong with having a disease. There's nothing. Sorry, I'm not a very good person. So analyze what you think college is going to give to you. Incredible connections. You can make connections anywhere. And if you don't get into your dream school, really go back and watch my video about how to choose a school that's right for you. Because if you were like all gassed up to go to this super expensive school because it was your dream and it was going to give you all these like industry connections that you thought nobody else could give to you, if that is truly your end goal, pivot. It would be fine to go to a junior college for 2 years and then transfer into that dream school. Or just go to the junior college in that city and make those connections in the city anyway. You don't have to go to that school. Like I said in my other video, like I am a, I may sound like a douche, but I'm a pretty influential person in New York City media. And like, that's no small feat. Do you know that no one has ever even asked where I went to school? I'm sorry, they don't even ask if I do. I mean, they assumed that I went to college, but like nobody asks where. And if I just like foist that information on, I'm like, I went to Cal Poly, Mustangs. They have no idea what that school is. People don't know, you know, unless they went there, they're like, oh wait, that's a good school. I'm like, yeah, it's a really good school. So like, it doesn't really carry the weight throughout the rest of your life that you think it's going to. So let go of the idea that this one school, this one major, this one city, this one path is the only path to the thing that you want. I guarantee you it isn't. And it's up to you to find how to get to that same place, because there's what? Freedom and restraint. I hope this has been helpful for you guys. I understand what you're going through. You're basically looking at like, you know, your life path. It's like it could pivot and it's almost too much to think about. It's like, how would my life be different if I had gone to like Yale or something, or University of Texas or Boston College? Like it would go so many different places, but you will make yourself crazy thinking about this. And like Tim McGraw says, there's no such thing as what might have been. So get on your path, love it, and know that the path you're on is the right one. I promise. It's especially right if you go to Cal Poly though. For more, click like and subscribe, and follow me on social media at ShallonXO. And like I said, if you have a question of your own, want to chit chat on the private, find me on the Instant Go app. My username is ShallonXO and click chat.